All right, perfect. I'm going to read through the minutes quick from our last meeting here. We had a wastewater operator update from Jay, and we're up to date on all forms and updates with the MPCA and in compliance. Our new modem was installed at the pump house, but we were still having issues. Rich was going to address that in his updates. Quarterly samples were taken on that day for quarter 3 and will be sent in for testing on 9/14. They've started the discharge process of discharging from the primary pond to the secondary pond, and current reading is at 49 inches. The goal is to get down to 24 to 30 inches, and this will be done over a span of 4 to 5 days, as they can only discharge a certain amount each day. There's a 2-week window after discharge, and they will draw samples from the secondary pond to ensure that the levels are safe enough to then discharge into the county ditch. Goal is to complete by the end of September, pending the test results. We're licensed to do 2 discharges per year, usually in spring after thaw or ice out, and again in September or October. Jay identified some tools that we're currently in need of or need replacement of or need repair. He was going to work with vendors to have those evaluated, and we would discuss at our next meeting what needs to be repaired or replaced. Chairman of the board update: the new modem was installed but was not functioning properly. Rich was receiving calls in the middle of the night when it would go offline. Quality Flow identified that it was a bad modem from the manufacturer, and they will replace it at no cost to the district. The unit is still able to store the readings, just not upload the readings, so once it's replaced, we'll be able to still pull that data. Rich has been doing the weekly readings at the pumps. We received an inquiry from resident Todd Dosh about the possibility of adding a new home to our system, and if that would be a possibility. Rich was going to check with Tim Corby from HR Green about it. You need to submit a plan for engineering along with the SAC charge to the homeowner. This is possible for homes to be built in Rush Lake Estates. Paul posed a question of having an apprentice under Jay. Rich explained that we would like to leverage some of the current residents to assist with some of the daily, weekly requirements to help control the cost, but first wants to completely understand the operator role in itself. It was agreed that it's important to have just more than one person have a full understanding of the role and requirements to ensure that we can clearly communicate to the residents what is required for this position. We approved bills: East Central Energy of $165.26, Rasmussen for lawn services for $845, Quality Flow for $1,061.27. That actually was put on hold until the modem was replaced. USPS, we had a $76 PO box rental. There were some receipts from the fire pit survey and supplies from that, and then Preferred Paving, we had a $4,000 payment to them as well. Let's see here, financial report. Last month, current checking account balance was $51,806.77. Our investment funds were at a value of $206,875.82, which matures on 1/19 of 27 at a rate of 2.75, and our cash value was currently at just over $17,000. Old business: we discussed the Shorewood land area that's owned by Mr. Wood. The community is currently paying taxes on the property, but it's being rented for farmland, and a motion was made by Paul, seconded by Rich, to survey the land and areas in question after receiving 2 bids from different vendors. Bids would be for the farmland in question in addition to the area where the sign is located currently. Public website, it currently has 33 members of our district now signed up. Bylaws, we scheduled a working meeting for Tuesday, September 27th to talk about updates and changes to the current bylaws. New business, the park committee meeting. We discussed the events, the fire pit, and some of the feedback from that survey that was sent out. It was an 11-3 vote to keep the fire pit open for Shorewood residents or any residents that pay sanitary district fees. Any resident that burns should be responsible for pulling a permit, ensuring the fire is completely extinguished by 8 a.m. the next day, and sending an email to the Shorewood community website to notify board members of plans to burn. Because Shorewood Sanitary District pays taxes on this land, we would be responsible as a board to maintain and manage the fire pit. Signage, Matt provided information on pricing for new signs. A motion was made by Paul, carried by Matt, to approve the signs at a max of $1,500, and those were ordered as well. Lawn care, decision was made by the park committee not to hire out the mowing of the parks in the entry to Shorewood. Cost would have been $345 each time. All residents will continue to maintain a section of the parks, and Joe has volunteered to mow the grass around the front sign and the main drive. We adjourned at 8:37 p.m.
I get a motion to accept the
Oh,
minutes?
Jay has a question.
Oh,
One thing,
sorry.
and it's semantics,
Yep.
where it said we discharge from, it should say transfer.
Transfer,
Because
okay.
somebody could misconstrue that as we discharge right from the primary.
So,
So yeah, I think you had said like discharge from, started discharging from primary
yep,
pond to the
we've
secondary.
started the
Should just
discharge
say
process
it should say
of
transfer.
discharge. Okay, from transfer from the primary.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I could
I
say
can fix that.
semantics, but
Yep,
that rang a bell with me right away. so-
there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You had a question? No. Oh, it was Jay had a question. Okay, I guess I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I guess we'll concentrate on getting Jay out of here so we can start heading home. So let's just start with the wastewater operator and what did happen here the last month. So number one, we did the reading of the secondary pond, correct?
Just the same, yeah.
Yep, so 2 weeks ago, I think it was, Jay and I went up there. We took samples of the secondary pond, and those samples were for,
Pre-discharge,
okay,
to determine if your water's suitable to discharge. So we make sure there's not too many solids in the water, your BOD, which would be biological, biochemical or biological oxygen demand. So if you've got a lot of little solids in there, fecals, which are your poops, they're going to demand so much oxygen as it goes down and then eventually to the lake. All those numbers that we got were single digits, which is really, really good. And our fecals were 26.6. They do some very interesting math with that, but we had to be below 200. So the samples that we took came in stellar. What it looks like tonight, we're going to be on the same path.
okay,
Just from looking at it, there's no solids in there that you can see. Of course, there's suspended solids that you wouldn't see, but there's stuff that, I mean, it looks like it's really good effluent.
so our ponds are doing what they're supposed to do, basically. How did our phosphorus look? That's always been a question and something that we've talked about in the past.
I can't remember the number offhand, I'm sorry. I don't think we're, and again, for now, it is, it's not a permit. It's required that you observe, but you don't have to meet a standard. But I don't recall it as being high, I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Yeah, I thought you said when you talked to Haley, things were good. So
Yeah,
explain that again. You basically said, just a second, according to our permit, we don't,
it's a monitor only,
okay,
so you've got to run the tests, and they're going to line those numbers up over the years each time you take those tests.
okay.
And what they'll do is they go, well, you're at, let's say 4 parts per million. Not too bad. We get up there to 14, and you continue to do that, eventually they're gonna say, well, we're gonna have to start mitigating that. And again, those numbers are just numbers I pulled out of the year, but, a lot of plants now they've gotta be below 1 part per million over a rolling year. So if I have 3 today and I have 0.3 tomorrow, my average is 1, I'm good, There again, it goes by to about how much are you discharging, as well as where are you discharging, and so on and so forth. So
Phosphorus numbers are good.
yeah, phosphorus wasn't out of line anyhow. I recall looking and going, okay, that seems fine. But I don't recall what that number is. And again, I don't know what, they're going to look at how much effluent you put out, and then they're going to pick a number, and I don't know how what the formula is for that. But they'll look at it, and they look at everything every year. And again, you're doing phosphorus maybe 4 times a year. They're gonna look at that and say, you know, oh, it's staying the same and it's relatively low this time. But again, too, it does come down to what is it affecting downstream? You know, eventually that's getting to the lake, but I would think that it's got a long way to go
Before it gets there.
there. You know, so, I don't even, I wonder if it even makes it, because there's a little swamp on the way there too.
Yeah,
and stuff. So,
it gets filtered out pretty well.
yeah.
Okay, so that was our testing 2 weeks ago. And that basically set up for what we started tonight.
Yeah.
So now we've transferred from primary pond, did our testing as the water sat there for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We got our readings back. Tonight we went and started the discharge into the creek.
Right.
So myself, Jay, Paul, and then TJ Knackle, he was also there to give us a hand and to watch. And he's going to help continue this week with the discharge. Now the discharge, we were basically at 60 inches. That secondary pond was at about 60 inches. And we want to discharge that and get it down to about 30 inches. Okay, that's our secondary. And that's where we'll sit over the winter.
Okay.
So that's going to take about 4 days. So tomorrow, one of us will run up there and pull another gate and try to relieve another 6 inches, and we'll do that until we get down to 30 inches, which will take about 4 days. On Thursday, Jay's not going to come up, but we have another testing packet from MTVL.
Yeah.
And
Minnesota Valley.
Yeah, Minnesota Valley Testing
Testing lab.
Agency, that's who we use. And we'll do the tests. We'll take the samples and we'll send those out. So that'll be the second discharge testing that we have to do for this whole discharge.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's what's been going on here tonight. So we started to move our water. So this is the second time that you're to, and we'll do that in the spring.
Yeah.
We did, first time that we all went down to actually watch where the pipe went into the ditch. It looks like there may have to be some work done there. We took some pictures of it. It looks like it's a little corroded. We're not quite sure what and how it gets into the ditch. We can see from the last manhole and then where the pipe goes to the ditch, but me and TJ are gonna do a little investigation. I think I'm gonna pick his camera up and we'll kind of see what we can see where it's going into the ditch. Seems like it's jamming up there a little bit, but it is discharging in there. I don't think it's any concern, but we may need to do some maintenance down the line on that.
Yeah, I got a call in today. I'm gonna ask him,
If he's seen some milk.
if he knows what's going on down at that end.
Okay, that'll help. Maybe you get a chance to look at, the drawings and see if they do have some sort of a baffle down there to slow so it doesn't tear up that ditch. The modem did get replaced this month, and it's been stable. So when Corey with Quality Flow came out, they did their PMs, their fall PMs. They came up this month also. And I just got that report on what they do. They come in twice a year, and they check our pumps, give us a maintenance, and basically they give us a health check on everything. One of the things that, when they did come up for that, they did replace that modem, and it's been stable. So what I'll do is I'll probably go ahead and let them get us on the call list and get that operating. Right now it's just been on text messages, but I'll go ahead and get the call list live, which will put me on it, and it'll put Matt on it. And then Quality Flow is number 3 if there is a problem. And again, that modem reports to us if we have a problem with the pumps, we can get there to maintain them. So I'm happy with that, so we'll probably approve that bill going on forward.
One thing there, Rich, you are required twice a year to have them come out and calibrate those pumps.
Okay.
So because you don't really have a meter,
Yep.
you gotta calibrate those pumps to make certain that they're.
And we do that in spring and fall, basically. We do that.
Is that a requirement for a permit? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. Did it say on there, did you notice what the gallons per minute were on each of those pumps? You don't have to leave too far.
I didn't notice it, but I will send that out.
Okay.
Okay. So Prior, I mean, we were talking just briefly before the meeting started. Some of the numbers that our permit basically is written that we can pump 15,000 gallons a day.
Yeah.
And typically, we've been reading close to, from going up and reading the meters, and that data that we said was gonna be stored in there is also stored in there, so that's good. That does store that
That's
data.
good.
So we know the data's still there. And that'll circle me back to another thing I gotta bring up. But with that being said, we're showing we're pumping somewhere between 18 to 20,000 gallons
But 21 last month.
a month. So we know that's higher than what our permit says, and that's higher than what the readings were a couple years ago. According to the facility plan for the expansion, the basic number they said our average was right around 10,000 a day, which brought us, 5,000 gallons per day lower than what our permit said. But now we're up and over, so that's a mixture of I&I, and our pump probably running twice. And according to this report, it shows like one of the pumps does need, or it's not the pumps, it's the check valves that are bad. We're
Yeah.
pumping water twice.
Right. So what ends up happening, that water will go down the line, pump shuts off, and the check valve should stop it, so it can't come back.
Right.
Well, what's happening is that water's coming back and filling up that manhole faster than it should.
Yeah.
It's pumping again. So you're pumping some of that water twice.
Twice.
And we kind of, just really quick math, we're probably at least 5,000 gallons a day, just real quick math. And what, he said that second pump was running 50% more than the other one. So that would say about a quarter, so.
So we have to entertain, there's a quote here to replace those check valves, there's two of them. We'll have to talk about investing and getting those replaced. And maybe what I should do is I should follow up with Corey. Well, of course, the sooner we get it fixed, the less water we're gonna pump and the money we're gonna save. So it's something that we should probably see if we can get it fixed
Okay,
right
so
away.
money on electricity, those pumps start and stop, and the more they stop and start,
Okay, we'll bring that
the
up.
harder it is.
We'll
So
circle-
there's no one telling us there's a date that has to be done, we just do
No,
it to
it's
say.
But it's a, well, and then too, you can get a good baseline. So if people do want to add, you can say, maybe we're pumping twice as much as
Yeah,
we should be, right? So now maybe you're at 10, 12,000 gallons a day, and you have room to add people. If your baseline is 15,000, you don't want to add 10 houses,
so we need to bring those numbers down. There's some reasons why those numbers are up,
Yeah.
for sure. And we got it, and one of the biggest things right now is gonna be that check valve, and then that I&I stuff that we talked about.
It's not the new houses on Rush Estates.
No, it's a combination of things right now, so, so that's kind of the stuff we've done with Jay, and where we are within the, parameters of our permit. One other thing that we did have to go back and do is, we did have to go back and redo June's DMRs.
Yeah.
We had to go back and rebuild all the information. We couldn't get the information from Denny. We didn't have the right, he basically deleted it, I think is what happened, or the information wasn't there. He didn't
That's
have
not
it.
all.
He said that he sent Jay and me copies of it, but.
He never said.
Same thing, it wasn't all there.
There was like two numbers that, we did get the meter readings, but I don't have, depths and other
Yeah, it
things.
looked really close, but I knew that you'd gotten it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do both September and June's here this week, into next week, and we'll get in there everything we can there. The one thing they did testing in May, so that would go on the June DMR. I did get that stuff from the lab, so
Okay.
I can add that as well. But some of the other numbers, and those aren't violations, they're a missed sample or a missed number, so they make, when Haley comes out, she's gonna say, I want you to get all that stuff next time.
Okay. We're gonna get our finger wagging is what's.
Pretty much, but then now if it continues to be that way and you don't have all the numbers and stuff, they're gonna go, all right, so now we're gonna give you the merit, you don't want that.
Does the demerit come before or after the stern one?
Usually the stern look first and then the merit, and then they might
Multiple.
find you eventually if you just
Yeah.
continue to make the same mistakes. You know, and they've really changed over the years. It used to be, well, we're gonna just kick you in the hand right now. Now, they're gonna go, listen, what can we do to help you? Where are you missing out? You know, is it training? Is it, do you have problems with your pumps? Do you know? So they're there to help. It's really nice to work with them now. Some of the people were been 20, 30 years ago, it's like, oh my gosh. So,
That's good.
yeah.
Appreciate that. The other thing that happened this last month is we did have Jones, they did camera or inspect the line from, we moved it last month. And we talked about Shorewood Circle, but I went ahead and we flip-flopped it because it was easier for him. He didn't have to jump through all the backyards just like in here and stuff. So he actually did from our top northernmost manhole by Rush Lake Estates, and he ran that lower lake all the way down to our pumping station. He didn't have to jet any of that, so that was all clear. I called him a couple times here in the last 2 days. He didn't get back to me. He said he was like halfway done with the report. Again, a quick look was our infrastructure looked good, but he didn't let me know if there was anybody else with excessive I&I pumping into our lines. So the issue we have is, you know, we've identified at least one other homeowner that we know has an issue. That's part of our problem, pumping extra water, and then now we can see it's also that check valve is causing us some I&I or misreadings that we have to correct and bring our numbers down.
Rich, I'm sorry, can you repeat where they completed?
Sure. So he started up from the Rush Lake Estates. That's off of Rush Way.
Okay.
All right, that's our northernmost. That's the last manhole that used to be by Peterson's.
Yep.
And he ran that south all the way down the shoreline to, I think it's Lakeview Drive. It's our lower area down there. So basically we've got almost the whole lower part of Shorewood Park we have scoped out or jetted out this year. We'll pick up the rest next year to see where we're at.
Thank you.
Yep. I think that's it as far as where we are with taking care of the sewer this last month. Jay, if you'd like to head home,
Yeah.
we're happy to take off. Unless you want to stick around.
Need to get up at 5 to house.
All right, we'll talk to you Thursday.
All right, yeah, give me a call.
Yep, thanks.
I gotta keep my,
Be careful.
wait, but I have gotten a little sloppy lately. It's like, okay, sorry. Otherwise I'd eat half those on the way home.
Thank you, folks. Yep, I'll email you.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'll email you more information, the September numbers.
All right.
I'll go through all those. I'll send you all this stuff from Quality Flow.
Okay.
We'll try to analyze that and maybe dial that in a little bit more.
Okay, perfect.
You know, where we are with pumps and stuff.
All right. Paul, thanks for your help tonight.
No problem.
All right, we'll see you guys. Thanks much.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, what's next on that agenda?
So is that a combination of your update as well with Jay's? Because I had you listed separately on the agenda.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. I can go over some of the stuff that we did. We took care of the modem. I did hear from Todd Dosh again.
Okay.
They did finalize and close on that property. And, you know, I did talk to him about, as I looked into our old ordinances, we do have to come up with some sort of a permit. And we talked about that in our working meeting a couple weeks ago, to come up with a permit, but he has to come up with a plan on what he's gonna do, and we have to approve it. We'll have to send it to engineering. Of course, we wanna make sure we can try to get our numbers down to make sure that we can see he is coming in here, but we've kind of said that the Peterson Resort had 2 hookups. One has been taken. He wants to take the next one. I don't see a problem with that. I think it's first come, first serve. You know, so I think we're in line with being able to add that house onto the system. Once we see what his plans are, and of course he has to comply with Chisago, and then he's got to come up with a couple plans on how he wants to tie into our system. He will have to purchase a permit for us and we have to determine what that permit is, because there is no real record of what that permit has been before, so we have to try to dial that in a little bit. What else we got here? I think that's been it, pretty much.
All right. Finance update. Our current balance as of today was $44,730.94. Dean, do you have any statements?
Yes, I got a statement from LPL Financial for our investments. Went down again because the market's down. The value at the end of September was $202,222.49. And the cash account, I think, went up 17 cents. $1.67 to $17,004.06.
So the bills that we have for this month, I have a reimbursement that I'm requesting of $14.25. So when I had sent in the check to order more envelopes that are stamped that we use for mailing out bills, that was inconveniently right when the price of postage went up. So they didn't tell me that that's why they weren't shipping me my envelopes right away. And we had to handwrite them. So I paid the extra $14.25 to get that box delivered to me, so I'm asking to be reimbursed for that. Minnesota Valley Testing Labs sent us a statement totaling between the three statements. It'd be $312 if you want to pass that down. We have a bill from East Central Energy totaling $165.31 for the three different pumps. So there's three different invoices here. They have a different account number in each one. Quality Flow, I have a bill here for $600, and that was the service check at the two lift stations and the drawdown at the main LS. What does that mean?
Lift station.
Oh, lift station, thank you.
Yep.
So that's a total of 600, plus we still have the 1,061 from last month that we put on hold until we replaced, or until they replaced the modem. So we would need to approve that tonight as well. And I'm asking to get ahead on envelopes, stamped envelopes at the new price of $369.20, just to order now before it goes up again. So that's another one. And then I received a membership dues invoice from the League of Minnesota Cities. So it did go up apparently from the past, what we were paying. So it's a total of $2,119. And that's something that we would pay yearly. This is the only thing I received from them on that. And then this was,
What was it before?
I'd have to look back and see, I don't know for sure. So those are the bills that I have that would need approval tonight.
All right.
I need a motion to approve the bills.
I only have one question.
Sure.
This is the League of Minnesota Cities.
Mm-hmm.
For $2,000, what exactly does that all include?
Honestly, I don't know. That's what I received. The only other thing in the envelope was just literature about it. It wasn't in regards to that. That was the only thing that came.
Okay, I mean, I know that we've approved that, but we really don't know what, we should get, maybe I should call and find out exactly.
So there is a number on
I've
there.
got contact already, I've talked to a few times.
Right, but I thought they provided us insurances for certain things. And I don't know if we need all that stuff, if we're gonna go, I think a lot of it was to cover what our past operator was doing for us.
Do we have to have that?
Well, I don't know what else,
Yeah.
I don't know what the membership really provides for us, okay? And it's pretty brief here. For membership dues,
So So last year we paid, I just found it here, 2,046. What is it this time?
2118.
Yeah,
So-
basically 120, so it didn't go up that much. But I just don't know exactly what this gets us and what we use it for. And do we need everything they're providing? Can we drop down, depending on what kind of things, what, kind of services they are providing us? So is there a telephone number for that?
There is on there, there's on the bottom right-hand corner, I think that it does.
Oh, yeah,
It's either a
questions for
website.
billing. Yeah.
Yep.
Can you send me a copy of this and I'll call on this? And we'll see what that membership really provides for us.
Do we want to hold on it then?
I think let's put a hold on this one.
Okay.
And then if you can send me a copy of that,
Yep.
and then I'll make a phone call and I'll try to find out exactly what that membership is. Maybe we need it all, I don't know that yet, but that was one of the questions I think that I really didn't know what that was providing for us. And Tim, I don't know if you remember or what the whole
There was
package,
insurance for the operator, I knew that much.
right?
They
And I
said,
think there was some insurance for
There's some
the
liability
chairman of the board
insurances.
and maybe I think it would have been Wendy at the time.
they said
I think those were the only two that were covered.
I'm sorry.
So outside of that, I don't remember anything else.
I just sent you the website, Rich.
Okay, all right. I'll do some investigating on it. Let's hold on that particular bill till we get a little bit more information.
Do I have a motion to pay the other bills?
Yeah, all right.
I second that motion.
Sue? Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Yep.
All right, new business. So at our special meeting that we had on the 27th, one thing that I requested was to add a drop box at the pump house, the main pump house in Shorewood there, and people could drop their bills there. We could also, if we have surveys, that kind of thing, people could return them there as well. Just kind of a main area for where Rich is there daily. I can be there at least once a week to check it.
Okay.
So we just thought that it would be, I'm proposing that we add that. But I'm not a board member, so it'd have to come technically from one of the board members. But if we put some kind of a drop box there,
Can we, first of all, we gotta make sure that it's semi-secure,
Yeah.
right? Is it something that, is it just a mail slot on the outside and then it drops into a secure box? So, is that, we're either gonna have to make something or purchase something.
would you like me to get some bids for that or some prices?
Yeah, can we make a motion to try to, maybe it's something Joe can build or something we can just put together as easy as a mailbox. I don't think anybody's gonna get in there and mess with it, so it could be something we could just put together
Yeah.
with a mail slot. I think that'd be
Going
semi.
into the.
We leave, yeah.
Right.
Right.
We talked about, getting that pump house in order yet, which we still need to do. One of the things that I'd really like to do is build a desk there, and maybe we put that on the desk, because the quarterly test that we have to do, that's a 4-hour composite test, and somebody's got to park their butt there for 4 hours and do that test, so it'd be nice to have a place for him to sit down, and I don't know if it's Jay or a future operator, for somebody to come in there and do that work, because that happens during the summer and during the winter. So I'd like to see some desks and then some file cabinets once we start going through that equipment in there. So I think we approved $500 in the past to get that thing to order. So, I don't know how we want to move on it, or, if it's a couple of us getting up there and with some 2x4s and some stuff and just throwing some stuff together and organizing that.
I got some old sawhorses indoors.
Yeah, whatever it takes. I think a couple of us get together and throw some plans together, we could easily, organize that a little bit, so.
I just think it'd be a nice option for people.
Yep.
It'd be easy for people to just drop by and drop their payment.
I think it's a great idea too. So if we want
Especially
to,
if postage is going up.
No kidding.
I make a motion to include a Dropbox in the reorganization of the shed, which has been approved already.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is the welcome letter. That was the other item that we worked on at our meeting. And then I'm going to give a copy of this. This is just a draft. I made the changes that Julie, I didn't add the address on there. Didn't know if I needed to or not.
Well, it's on the bill.
Yep, it's on the bill. So this is basically a draft of what we'd like to see that would go out to any new residents.
Did you make the corrections that I sent out?
Yep, those are on there as well.
Okay. I think if you guys give it a quick brief read, that'd be great. I like it. What I'd like to do with it is post it at the pump house. And then can we email it out with the bill so everybody gets another copy? Because it's just a kind of an update of what we are, and it does kind of, mitigate some of the questions that a lot of people have.
Correct.
It's just kind of an update, so I'd like to get it back out to everybody again.
You know, I would suggest adding the actual address for the community center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the address for that. Good idea.
We had a meeting
Yes.
Saturday about the channels, and there were some people looking.
For the
And they went to
community
City
center.
Hall, they went to,
Okay,
if
Yeah.
they're not
good point.
too comfortable getting around here.
Should we add something about the fire pit under the general information about living in Shorewood Park
I thought that said something in here already about the fire pit.
It did.
Did we address that on this letter?
I don't remember if we did or we had decided at the meeting we were talking about, do we instruct them to go to the website instead? I can ask.
The website has resources, blah, blah, fire pit information, roads, meetings, and link for meetings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I really want more people to start looking at that website for information.
Did the signs come in? Yeah.
No, funny thing, the posts have arrived, but the signs have not.
Okay.
So, but Rich and I have already gone ahead to ask to have the spots, we've marked the spots where we'd like to have the poles, and then we're having the locators come out probably today or tomorrow to give us the go-ahead to put the sign posts in, and then we can just go ahead and put the sign posts in, and then when the signs arrive,
Okay.
just adhere those afterwards.
Good. Sounds good.
We'll be able to, all the updates will be done by end of the tomorrow.
Perfect.
Or actually Thursday.
Thursday.
Anytime after Thursday, you can post it.
Are those T posts, are they all posts, what are they?
I believe they're T-posts.
Okay. I have, no wait, my kids got my postponed.
I have a postponer.
Okay, do you know how to use it?
Yes, put it in the fence and that.
There you go. We've got a volunteer.
Soon we'll do it.
The only other edit that I could make, so there's which is just clip art, but, so we have a welcome to Shorewood that Matt has on the website. And I can present a copy of that to you guys as well, but, so basically it's just an image that I could replace it on that upper left-hand corner,
Oh, that's a good idea. I think,
so that it matches the website.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
So I can just edit that to put that at the top
Yep.
instead, so that it kind of
Put this here?
take,
or
take
put this
that
here?
welcome to Shorewood
This
and
on.
put it there, exactly,
Okay.
so that it kind of matches, so,
I have a question under the general information.
Yep.
On the second page,
correct,
the bottom bullet about the lake access.
yep.
Should we say something in there that really should be limited to snowmobiles and ATVs and UTVs? Because if you take a pickup down through there, you're not going to be happy.
You're not gonna, okay.
Matt, does our signage say that?
There will be a sign that is posted there that does say that.
Oh,
However,
okay, thank you.
We could head that off though by putting that
Yeah,
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
on
I think
the
that
paper.
would be a good.
So
it-
ATV, UTV, and snowmobiles.
Yeah,
Yep.
because that, where the rocks are at the end of that to go to the lake, it drops off really steep, and people could get hung up there really bad.
I have a question. Is a UTV a side-by-side?
yeah,
Yeah.
you're good.
Okay.
Susan.
How about dockside?
So does anyone make a motion to approve it with those proposed changes?
My first.
Yeah. I'll second it.
I'll second.
Okay.
I have a question though. How many speed limit signs do we have in Shorewood? And where are they?
Well, there's one, I
One
think,
coming in.
one coming in there, There's one coming in at the second entrance, it says 50 miles an hour. And I think on Shorewood Circle, I think there's one at the Y that says 15 also.
Yep.
So I know there's 3 signs right now for mileage.
We could also invest in, some type of, you see the speed, I don't know what they call them, the
Yeah,
speed
like
monitors on the side of the road. We
Like
could
they
get some
have
kind
on
of,
Evergreen right now.
Yeah.
like a light, a red light that flashes when you're going over, some kind of speed monitoring deal that doesn't really record anything, but it just brings it to your attention that you're going too fast.
I might be able to borrow the one from Chisago County.
Yeah, we could ask.
I'll hook up to it and bring it over there.
Here's the things with the roads. Again, as a community, I mean, all we can do is just remind people to slow down and keep on saying, slow down. I know it's irritating. We talk speed bumps. This is brought up all the time. They're private roads. The sheriff department, they can come in here and visit and drive through, but they really can't enforce the traffic laws in here because they are private roads. So they're basically an extension of everybody's driveway. And all we can do is ask our visitors to respect our speeds within the area.
I just worry about it, someday there's going to be something.
Right. And it's us just reminding, we're not being mean about it.
No,
I mean, somebody
it's-
else, looks like somebody put up a new slow sign right at the
Yeah.
feet right there, which I appreciated, slow. I know Buck's got that child thing out there that says slow, so.
That was also Buck that put that in, watch for children,
Right.
children at play.
Yeah.
And I appreciated it when I seen it right away. So I don't know if it's necessarily our residents. It's probably some more times it's visitors. And sometimes I've seen some of the construction workers bail out of here real quick at night too. So, when we bring extra people, it's just please respect our speed limits. I don't know what else we can do so other than just keep educating people.
Well, I've given a couple of stink eye.
Yeah.
Well, that's effective. I've seen your stink eye.
All right, so does that get back to this letter? I think we
Yeah.
approved it.
Yes.
Prove it with your
And as soon as I get the final, I will get the name of the new residents and take their welcome bag.
And there's 2 new residents that we know of right now.
Yep.
That's, geez, I can't forgive me, but I think it was
I
Sherry and Doug.
I
Yep.
talked to
Sherry and Doug that moved into Dan Rorschach's house.
That's the one down from us?
That's actually down in the lower part of the
Okay,
Shorewood.
okay.
And then loaner immigrants that are in Rush Lake Estates right now. So we have to visit them, so.
What moved into Sari's house?
Pardon me?
Sue and I talked to them Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
What is their names? We're,
Denise Green?
No,
I have their name.
on the
It's the
other side
other
of Gary and
Lane.
Paulette's.
Oh, yeah, Dreiser's.
Right across
The
from us.
blue house,
Ford in the north.
right across from us.
Oh, in the Blue House?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that just sold?
Yeah.
Oh, they're in
Yeah,
there
the one
already?
that
Yep.
was at the park, at the resort.
Okay.
Yeah, Sue knew them, because they,
So we got 3 people we gotta visit.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Septic permit. This was something that we discussed at our meeting also. I didn't get very far on it,
Okay.
but I sent kind of a basic, like a draft with the header on it. And then I also have some examples of other cities, because I'll be really honest, I don't know a lot of these others have like, they're asking if it's a mound or repair, size of the tank. That's not, they're basically asking to connect to ours.
Yes.
So if I could get some input from the board members of looking at these other ones. It's hard because when you go online and you look at other cities, like that's what I was comparing it to, they're a PDF fillable form, so like you actually have to, they won't let you print it, you have to go online and you're filling it out on there.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even print it as an example. And Kanabec counties, Pine counties is not working right now. When you go to the link to it, I've checked it a couple times and it's not working.
You know what, I'll reach out to Tim Corby again on this. And another one I might reach out to is Jones's, who takes care of the sewer. They might be doing something similar up at Okagama/Cross. They might have something that we can kind of get an idea from. Plagiarize, yes. We need to produce a permit as per our ordinance, for anybody that wants to look up. it's gone, you know, I think there was basically just a brief letter that went out, but it does explain that if somebody's gonna hook up, we have to inspect it, we gotta make sure it's right, we gotta
Right,
comply.
the connection with the inspector.
Right, so we gotta make sure, and then, again, the road permit thing, we should get live again too, is have an official road permit. I thought there was a copy of a road permit already,
Yeah.
that we just need to update.
So,
That's not-
those are just examples of other cities, if you guys want to look at them. But I mean, I can continue to add to it just like the basics, but one thing that I think that we do need to ask on there, and I wanted to get people's input of, that it would say who is applying for it, because that's one that I saw on the Lakeville one, and I couldn't print it because it was one that it was a, you know, on their website that you're getting linked to, but, so it's asking if it's the contractor or the resident that is filling out the application. And then also wanting to know the contractor's name, who the contact is for that. Yep. So I mean, some of those formatting things I can fix afterwards, but we would have to have some kind of a checkbox on there for if they have a plan that they're presenting with it, correct?
Yep,
Rich? Okay. And then the SAC fee, are we still doing $2,500?
Well, I'm hearing our SAC fee is way too low.
Okay.
I do have a road permit here that is kind of put out there, and it's pretty basic.
Okay.
I'm gonna send that to you, but I think all we need is to just address it up and then change some information on it.
Okay.
If we could put the Shorewood logo on top of it,
Yep.
and then, and I'll send that out to everybody, they can kind of see it. Then there's 2 names out here that we have to change and update.
Okay. So once I get that, I can continue to build this, but
Okay.
I just really didn't know
Well, no, it's a good start. I mean.
what was necessary to
Right.
have on there, so.
And when I send this information out, if you get a free minute to look at something, if you're just idle or whatever, I'll send it out on emails, and feel free to look around and try to help out if you can on different permit examples. I don't think it needs to be, the sewer one, I think, needs to step up and be a little bit more official, because it's something that they're probably gonna have to purchase, and we're gonna have to inspect, and we're probably gonna have to bring Tim Corby in, who is an engineer or our operator, to do the inspections, which is gonna cost us money, and they're gonna have to pay for that.
I don't remember. I looked at a bunch of, I looked
Yeah.
at Stearns County, I looked at cities, and I looked at counties. I wanted to do Pine because I knew that that's where J&J or whatever is out of, so I'm
Yep.
like, well, but it's every time I tried a couple weeks ago when we first had our meeting, and then I tried again today, and it's still, the link for it isn't working,
Okay.
so it kind of stinks.
Don't
but-
use that one.
We should also have specifications for road repair if they're cutting into the road. And I know Tim Corby would have a template of some sort that we could use for compaction, you know,
Sure.
putting the blacktop back in, because if they have to go down to the main, most of that's down, either, could be in the street. So if it's in the street, they need to do that. And maybe that would be in addition to the permit fee. It may have to be, if there's road work that needs to be done in the street, possibly a second fee, a second inspection.
I totally agree, I didn't even think of that. Some cases, they may not have to tear up the road, in some cases, they are gonna have to restore the road back to where it has to be.
That could be a second part of the permit.
Yep.
Okay, so action item for our next meeting is I'll draft together some more information and we can continue to build on it.
Yep. I think
Okay.
so.
All right. Old business, Shorewood Community Land, we talked about getting some bids for surveys.
Why don't you bring us up to speed on that there, Mr. Paul?
I sent out to 3 locals, survey companies. I got 2 back. One of them, the guy who did my yard, he said it would be not to exceed $1,500. I only got 2 of them back. The second one I got back was from Croschel, CRKROSCHEL survey, and his was for $1,000. And what we're doing is specifically looking at the 2 acres on the southwest corner of that field, along with the point where you come in on, off of County Road 1 by the Shorewood sign, to see who owns what around that sign.
Tyler Purcell is the one who's done
Most of the
most of it
surveying
down
around
here, so that would be the only one positive is he's familiar
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
And he's the cheaper one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was at $1,000, the other one was 1,500. I did not get a reply from the third one.
I think I make a motion to accept Rochelle's at $1,000.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Last item on our agenda is bylaws update. We really didn't get a chance at our last meeting to cover bylaws.
Nope.
So I don't know if we want to schedule another working meeting or we want to do that. We talked about maybe doing it prior to another, like our regular meeting next
Yeah.
month if we come early and work on that. I
Yeah,
don't
first
know.
off, let me apologize to everybody, because it was my idea, and I was the one whining about, we need to get this done, we need to get this done. And then I had a brain fart, and I thought it was on Wednesday, not on Tuesday. That is all my fault. I apologize, that's normal. Paul doesn't usually make mistakes like that.
That's not what your wife said.
And this was a rare stupid Paul trick, and I apologize to the group for that, because, like I said, it was my idea, and I was the one whining about it, and then I don't show up.
Well, I do have to say, it was 1 hour, and I'd like to keep them down to an hour, and we did get a lot
Yeah.
accomplished.
Yeah.
So I'm all for another meeting, just to
Yeah.
concentrate on bylaws if you guys want to do that.
Sounds
And,
good.
and with the bylaws update also, I had a rough draft of a letter that I was going to send to the attorney that we have used in the past.
Ted Lemons,
And, yeah, and I forgot to print it out before I came here.
Okay, well, why don't we bring that to that working meeting, and we concentrate on that next working meeting.
Okay.
So next meeting is, it's going to be different in November because of elections.
Correct, and actually, City Hall called me today, and they said that we're on the calendar for the Wednesday following the election on Tuesday.
So that would be the 9th.
So we're good to go.
So November 9th, we'll have a 6 PM working meeting prior to, and then our regular 7 PM meeting,
Do you think that,
correct?
yeah, I was gonna say, do you think it's enough time?
Well, I think it's good, it's
To
a try
start,
to
yeah.
stay at,
Yep. So we'll just do it an hour before our other meeting. So next meeting, we're gonna start, it's Wednesday at 6 o'clock
Yep.
for the board, then the open meeting's at 9.
correct.
Sounds good to me.
And that's Wednesday tonight.
Yep. Because of elections, correct.
Do we need to get something out to the residents about the change in the meeting? That'll go out with the billing,
Well,
I will post it on the website.
put it on the website?
Yep.
And
well,
then we
if
should
I
put
could
it at
just
the
put a
pump.
bright piece of paper at the,
We'll put it at the pump.
house, okay.
Why don't you just have Matt run around and
Yeah.
You can be like Tom Pryor.
Exactly.
Ding, ding, ding. Here, here. Here, We could dress them up, that'd be cute.
Wow.
I'd do it, don't tell me.
What did he do to take you off?
No, I don't know why that thought came in my head. Can I circle back to one thing on the bills? Do we not owe Premier for one more final payment, or are we up to date with Premier?
So let me look at, because we talked,
Yeah.
let me look and see what I don't remember how much the check was that I just mailed them.
I think we owe $4,000 to final it off. We should approve that to get that.
Okay.
Can we add that to the bill approval, the final payment for our road repairs? Yeah, you sent out that bill for 12, so we owe $4,000, and that'll
Okay,
clear the balance.
all right, yep, yeah, I sent him 12.
Okay.
All right, so $4,000.
Yep.
Okay.
And then one other thing I think we should talk about is that bid to get the pumps taken care of.
check those.
Yeah, those check valves. It sounds like it's pretty important. Why don't I'd like to make a motion to get them repaired. I don't know why we're beating around the bush. We need to get them repaired.
They need to
I'll make the
be,
motion.
do we need to get a second bid on it though? Or have these guys done all?
They've done all of our work.
All of our work,
Yeah. I think that they've been historically, they take care of our pumps, they do everything.
Okay.
The bid is for lift station check valves update, 2 6-inch check valves, the gaskets, installation, labor, freight, $7,000.50. And again, I mean, there's gonna be a payback by repairing these. They're only gonna get worse.
Yeah.
So I think it's something that we need to get addressed
As soon as possible.
as soon as
Yeah.
possible. I know that was something, in Denny's, he was concerned about it. Even, it goes back as far as last year, I think it was on last year's report. I didn't, this is the first time they highlighted it. He said that, well, that second pump's pumping twice as much as it has.
So I have a motion from Dean.
Yes.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and what I'll do is, I'll reach out to Corey. I'll have him respond with any other particulars, and I'll put that out on an email so everybody gets that information on what's happening with that. I don't think I have anything else.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
You got it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.